We apologize for keeping you late. We are expecting 2 more siblings to arrive, but they're already not on time, so we're going to begin and not keep you waiting. Okay. Some of you I have not met personally, but everybody else, I'm assuming you know who I am. My name is Joseph Jordan. I am Lachelle Jordan's father. And when I first stepped up to something like this, I had one small request, and that was to bring my daughter home safely. And through the support of law enforcement, media, EMS, community, and everybody that wanted to be somebody, that request was granted. So when I made it, I said, if that happens, I'm good.
Yes, sir.
So I'm good.
Yes, sir.
This has been interesting, to say the least. We got quite a few things going on here, and I don't know all the answers. First and foremost is about details. I'm sure all of you want details, and so do we. However, and I'm going to say this, it's an ongoing investigation. And with that being said, we as a family have decided that we're going to do nothing to impede or inhibit the investigation in any way. As I said before, I trust our law enforcement. They've done good so far, and I expect them to continue to do their job. And I got a slight insight because I know they're civil servants, and so am I. So all the stories you heard about civil servants not doing their job, take a look around and see what has happened, and I hope that dispels that myth. So what I pledge to you, and I should say we, is that we've set up what we've called a group meet. And it's a group email that we try to make sure we have everybody's contact information in, and we send out what's going on. And we try to include everyone. And so if you're new and you didn't receive the request about this meeting, please let my son William, who's right here, get that information to him, and we will put you in that group meeting. Okay? Now the question you've all been waiting for. Lachelle. Lachelle has had some trauma. She's had some injuries, and she's been hospitalized. And she's getting medical treatment. And she's going to be okay as can be expected. So with that being said, we go back to the details. We want them just like you. We don't know them yet because the investigation is ongoing. The next thing we're going to talk about is a word called normal. Our life used to be normal. We used to be what's called the happy family. And we're still a happy family. But we've got a whole lot of changes in it. And we're going to need to make some adjustments to that change. That change has not only gotten notoriety, but for everything I've done as a civil servant, I've stayed in the background. Because I'm not one of those, quote, people I want to be up front. Nah, I just want to get the job done. That's me. But what I want to say is this. God blessed me and my family. And so I hope none of you are going to be offended, but at the end of this, I'm going to ask to give a prayer. And I'm going to give the prayer. So I don't want to offend anybody, But I respect you in whatever your religious beliefs are. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, with that being said, we got back to normalcy. We're not going to be normal ever again in the way we were before. We've got to make a lot of adjustments. We got to look at other safety features because we know things are different and we should expect them to be different. With that being said, we don't know exactly what we're going to do. But we're meeting together as a family and we're going to work through that. Many of you may have heard me say, I have 13 grandchildren. And so that takes a lot to make sure that everybody's safe. And that's one of the things we're looking at. We're looking at safety. Whether you want to accept it or not, something like this will scare anybody.
Yes, sir.
Because you have no control. And so we have to find some way. And I think we have. Because when we united and pulled together all the resources, a miracle did happen.
Yes, sir.
Lachelle came home.
Yes.
Now, there are many out there who don't have the resources that have been pulled together on this. And I would encourage you, as leaders in the news media or whatever you do, even the regular people got out. You know, I have to commend DMS. They walked hours, they walked miles, they knocked on doors,
Yes, sir.
they did everything they needed to do. The community stepped forward. And isn't it great to see a community of Cleveland step forward and do that?
Yes, sir.
That made me proud to be a citizen of Cleveland because I was born and raised here. And I ain't going nowhere. I'm almost done, so I'm going to say this. The way I'm going to describe how we're going to get back to normalcy is through healing. That's the best way I can describe it. We have to heal our fears. We have to heal our worries. We have to heal our families. Many of you I talked to and said, you have families at home and you're out here spending your time. When you get home, tell your families I said thank you. Tell your families we said thank you. Tell your families we are a family. All of us. Every last one of us. Whether somebody looked at a picture, knocked on the door, walked a few inches, made a phone call, whatever you did, if you did anything, you are part of the miracle that has happened here.
Yes, sir.
We need a few more of those. Well, wrong. We need a whole lot more of those.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes.
That's all I have to say. I'm going to do a prayer, and then we'll be open for a few questions. And my other two siblings have not got here yet. My son would like to step forward. Are you going to step forward again?
I just want to say thank you.
Step up, Steve. Step up. Introduce yourself.
I'm Stephen Kennedy. I'm the twins, Lachelle and Rochelle's biological father. And I just want to say thank you to you all for bringing my daughter home. And I also want to thank Joe and William and their family for taking my children in, and they did a wonderful job raising them and bringing them out here. And I want to thank all the people who knocked on the doors, just like what Joe said. I mean, very appreciative. That's all I have to say.
I want to take a moment to expand a little bit. First, but before I do that, I want to say, all praise be to our Father God. So to expand, on Thursday, starting at 10:30 a.m., a group of EMS service workers, somewhere between 20 and 30 of them, got together. This was an idea that they put together. It was brought to my attention and the family's attention by Mark Barrett, who is the union president of EMS. We're joined here by the union vice president of EMS. He is a member of our family. Those 20 to 30 EMS service workers got together and canvassed, passing out flyers. First for 1 hour, and then for 2 hours, and then 3 hours. For 4 hours, they passed out flyers. Somewhere in the range of 5,000 to 10,000 flyers were passed out by EMS. They are family. Part of the reason that we are here, part of the reason that Lachelle is safe and alive and well is because of EMS. We cannot thank them enough. We stand here at the 5th Precinct. The Cleveland Police Department has worked tirelessly. I left my home Monday morning at approximately 7:30. I went out looking for my sister. At that time, Cleveland Police Department was also out looking for my sister. I planned to go home probably a few hours, several hours after that, and I kept looking. And when I got to Fairport Avenue, there was Cleveland Police Department, some 10 to 20 police cars. We can look around and we can look into the media and we can look at history and we can see some things that aren't perfect. What I will witness to you is that Cleveland Police Department has done a phenomenal job here.
Yes, sir.
Furthermore, I would share that this is not the only case in which they have done that. And so, we must stand here and give our sincere gratitude to the Cleveland Police Department. Additionally, there were many people here in Cleveland, in Ohio, and around the country who didn't know Lachelle, but followed her story, offered prayers, thought of her, went to bed thinking about her, wishing and hoping that she got home safely. That has been accomplished. A part of that, an integral part of that, is all of you. Part of the reason we have come here today is to thank all of you. Without you guys having a willingness to put this in the news, to continue to push it out, to continue to ask questions, to continue to call, without you, the news media, without the Cleveland Police Department, without EMS, without the family, and without the community, we are not here today with Lachelle alive and safe. And so we offer our gratitude, our sincere gratitude. We will continue to communicate effectively with you as when the time is right to offer more insight and information. I'll turn it back over to my father.
Good afternoon. My name's Dave Jockers. I'm the first vice president of CARE, Cleveland Association of Rescue Employees. We are the union which represents 250 dispatchers, EMTs, and paramedics for the City of Cleveland Division of EMS. Our president, Mark Barrett, who you guys have been speaking with regularly, couldn't be here today because he's with his young daughter. Family comes first.
And that's pretty much the theme, I think, here. Families first. And besides a family, I am a paramedic for the division for 9 years. I'm also a husband and a father. And I couldn't imagine what Joe and Michael, Steve, all of you guys, Rochelle, have gone through for the last week. The union's position has been and continues to be that we will be here for Lachelle and her family now or in the future for whatever they need. We are just happy that she is home and she is home safe. So thank you. Thank you for the media for putting it out there. I know I shared it on my social media multiple times, and I'm seeing people I went to high school 30 years ago sharing it. I hadn't heard from in 30 years. That meant a lot. So thank you.
Bertha.
I would just love to know what your reaction was when you first heard that Lachelle had called and then seeing the video and realizing that it was real.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You ever seen anybody jump up out of their bed, put on their clothes, be out of the house in less than 2 minutes? That's what it was. I saw it and I was gone. And I'm looking around for a reason. I didn't obey any speed limit laws. I did not obey a single solitary one. Okay?
Appreciate you taking some questions, and congratulations to your family. You express thanks for all the people who you say played a part in bringing Lachelle back to you. Based on what we've heard from first responder audio, it sounds like at the end of the day, this was Lachelle finding a way to get herself home.
That was as well.
What did she have to do? And I know there are certain things you can share right now, but what did it take for her to actually get home?
Well, she ran. And I'm going to say that in a simple way. She ran. And I'm about to embarrass her now. My daughters in high school ran cross country. And they had this father who you could hear from wherever they were over the course. And if they wasn't running fast enough, they had this father that they might turn around and he was running behind them, telling them to run faster. Okay? That's a true story. Isn't it? And Lachelle was one of those. I ran behind and she said, "What you doing there, Dad? You're not supposed to be here." So she ran. And I bet you now she'll see her run.
Was she being held by someone that she knew?
We have no idea.
And one other thing I was hoping you could clarify, because I want to share it the way that your family wants to put out there. We've seen this discussed a lot, this court case involving someone who she had a protection order against. Can you just share with us what her involvement with that case would have been on Monday? And if you believe that to be involved at all?
That, unfortunately, is an ongoing case. And I would respectfully not answer that at this time because, like I said, we intend on doing nothing to jeopardize any of the investigations.
Can you tell us if anybody's been arrested and like, can you tell us how she's doing? Is she still hospitalized?
Well, I can't tell you if anybody's been arrested because I don't know. She is still hospitalized.
But she's on the road to recovery?
Yes.
Are her spirits okay?
Spirits are up.
I guess when you talk about safety, is the biggest fear not just for her safety going forward, but for everyone in the family, considering what happened?
You know, when I said safety, I meant safety not only for my family, but for everybody out here. To put it point blank, some things got to change.
Yes, sir.
Something's got to change. And if this will be a motivating factor, so be it.
Yes, sir.
But something's got to change. And we can make the change if we step out and be somebody. Be somebody that if you see something, say something. Those are good words,
Yes, sir.
but you have to put them in action. And in this case, they was put in action.
Some people are.
Have you had a chance to talk to the workers who found her, or I guess that she approached, or if you have anything to say to them, what would you want them to know, just providing care for your daughter at that moment?
What I want to say is this. To the people at the convenience store who let her use the phone, thank God you were there. I'm serious, thank God. Because that could have came out any other kind of way. And so for everybody who stepped up and became somebody, thank you. Thank you.
And seeing the video from the surveillance camera from the store, your daughter appears to be limping and have her clothing torn. What has she told you about those injuries? Is that what she's in the hospital for?
Well, again, we can't comment on any of the things that are part of an ongoing investigation. As soon as we know something, we'll share it with you. That you can believe.
You want to say something before you take some more questions?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, my father's going to take a few more questions, and we want to include some more of you as well. But understand, he's made it clear, this is an ongoing investigation. If you ask questions regarding an ongoing investigation, we will move to the next question.
Okay.
Has she had the opportunity to see her kids yet?
Yes, she has.
You know, I think about it being Mother's Day tomorrow, and I feel like that's been my thought process. And you know, what was that like for the kids?
Okay. You weren't over with us to hear that. When I'm done with this, I'm going home. I'm going to cut my grass so I can pull out the grill. And we go. One more. We need one more. Okay. Lachelle's younger sister has joined us. But I'm going to go home and cut my grass. And I got a lot of grass to cut, so.
Next question.
Next question.
We asked you about your reaction when you found out that she had been found and she was safe and well. When you saw her, what was her reaction when she was able to see family for the first time?
Her comment was, it's nice to see a friendly face. And myself and her sister, her twin, were the first faces she saw.
She obviously fought her way out of something that was a life-threatening situation. How proud are you of her to be so strong and resilient to escape and survive?
I don't want to say I'm proud. I want to say I'm grateful. I'm grateful she had the strength and the willingness to fight to survive. It's not a matter of pride. I'm grateful.
What's it going to be like when you go anywhere near your neighborhood, all you see are those missing posters. What's it going to be like knowing that you are able to now take those down and that
you say the neighborhood's not going to be filled with the missing posters. The missing posters might not be Lachelle, but there might be somebody else's daughter, brother, sister, mother, father. Like I say, something's got to change.
Yes, sir.
Something's got to change.
Michelle's background, do you think that might have helped her being able to be able to come out of this and be alive and well right now?
I can't tell you what they do in EMS training, but I can assure you it had something to do with it. And if you would like to tell us what goes on in EMS training?
I could tell you, we were actually talking about that. I've actually been talking about that with a lot of people. As first responders, we're trained to be constantly aware of what's going on of our surroundings. And EMT, I've always taught this I'm a field training officer. I've always taught this to my cadets, that as EMTs and paramedics, we are the king of improvisation. You make do with what you got. If you see an opening, you take it. Whether it's to help a patient or to protect yourself or protect your patient, you take it. And there's no doubt in my mind, she saw an opening and she took it. No doubt in my mind.
Talking with some people who live down the block from where Lachelle was last seen, they say even though she's been found alive, they're still uneasy because they're waiting for more answers. And I know there's only so much you're sharing about. What would you say to your neighbors? What would you say to your daughter's neighbors about their uneasiness? Should they feel rest assured? Are there still questions you need answered before you're going to feel comfortable as well?
What I would say to them is that their neighborhood has gotten the spotlight, and it may hold that spotlight for a while, but what they also got is, I can tell you, some of those neighbors got out and spoke to each other and got to know each other, and building a safety net like that in the neighborhood is more important, because now we used to laugh about having the nosy neighbor, okay? We used to make jokes all about Miss Kravis and other people like that. I'll take a Miss Kravis living to me, next door to me, any day.
Two more questions.
Last, you gonna give him another?
Two
I
more
was going.
questions.
I know a lot of healing has to happen, but does Lachelle plan to come back to work as an EMT here in Cleveland and stay here in the community? I know it's obviously such a tough thing to go through, and trust is probably broken, but does she plan on staying?
I'm gonna tell you this. Lachelle became an EMT because she loves what she does. She still said she loves what she does. So I expect her to stay here, and maybe she'll get to see me retire as a public servant. But yeah.
Last question. No more questions?
Thank you. So if you can all bow your heads, I'll pray. Our dear Heavenly Father,
Yes.
we, your humble servants, are here to thank you for the blessing that you have bestowed upon all of us. That you have shown us that thy love for each and every one of us is important. That thy Spirit has comforted us, guided and directed us. And most importantly, brought one of our loved ones home. Father, we ask at this time that you find a way to make what happened in Cleveland, where everybody stepped in and did whatever they could do, that it may spread across this world. That we may stop some of the stuff that is going on, that are hurting your children. We are so thankful